How it all works. Come on. 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 How it all works. Come on.
Haha. I see you guys out there. I see you out there. We got 13 of you guys watching right now, hanging out with us in the comments. Silverhead Fitness, Simply Me Ray, Habla Conmigo TV. I see a couple of comments out there. I love it. I love it. I'm assuming some of you came because you are excited about the title of the show. Some of you came because you're regulars, and I want to see you guys put that in the chat. Welcome, Justine Moore, and thank you, Kirk Nugent, for having him on the show. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm always excited to see that kind of thing out there. Man, we got a lot to cover, so I'm not going to waste any time. But I will say this right before we get into our news. Please share. Do that right now. Tag somebody. There's somebody you know. If you got the email that went out earlier today, where I asked the question, do you want to get paid? Like, that was the subject of the email. Do you want to get paid? Ask somebody if you want to get paid. If the answer is yes to that question, then tell them to come on in here. Tag them if they're on Facebook. Send them the link on YouTube. Guess what? You can actually tag them on YouTube too. So that's a whole thing. In fact, we're going to dive into some of the responses, new responses that you can do on YouTube in the news. Let's go.
your number one source for live video news.
All right. First up, we have a lot of things to cover in the news. First up, though, we do want to cover a couple of announcements. You can see some of the headlines up there, but we're going to touch on those in just a second. Let's make sure we get some of our announcements. 31 live streaming tips to grow your audience. Make sure you grab the book. It's a refresher for those of you that are seasoned streamers. It is an absolute guide for those of you who are just starting out. This thing will take you from what should I do to, okay, now I have a system and it's my system. It's my cheat code, right? It's my up, down, left, right, A, B start. For those of you who remember the Contra days, it is mine completely. And you can use that week by week. The next thing I want to talk about is merchandise. Now, I don't have on my shirt today, but I should be getting that thing in the mail this week. Build on your intellectual property. And of course, answer a question, be consistent, be vulnerable. There's all kinds of shirts and merch and stuff that you guys can start a conversation with in the shop. Like I have one that says, ask me why I go live. Let me tell you, that thing always, it never fails. I wear that shirt. Somebody's like, okay, I'll bite. Why do you go live? And then we have this really awesome, phenomenal conversation. You want to start a conversation, you want to grab one of these t-shirts, definitely get involved. Yo, the podcast has been rolling. James, we had Chris Giles on. His show was released last Thursday. This coming Thursday, James Hicks is on, and we're going to be talking about integrity, why integrity matters in storytelling, You're going to want to make sure you catch that podcast. Exclusive content, y'all. You're not going to find the podcast content in the live shows anywhere. So make sure you tune in, grab that podcast, howitallworks.com. Right up at the top, you'll see podcasts, howitallworks.com. That's my central hub. All my stuff is there. This show that you're watching right now, on that page, latest YouTube video. Oh, speaking of latest YouTube video, this is the latest YouTube video. EV Mux, time to go live. We're in the middle of a series. Excited about this partnership with EV Mux. Partnership, sponsorship. We're going to talk about that a little bit more with Justin in a second. But I'm excited about this partnership with EV Mux, and that we're in the middle of this series right now. So definitely make sure you check out that video. This is a good one. The next one, I'm apologizing from now, is going to be long, y'all. It's going to be really long. I'm talking about like Pro Scenes is an entire monster. It's an entire beast. So definitely want to make sure you get that. Here is a precursor to what we are going to be talking about today, right? I'm putting this on the screen. I'm putting the link on the screen as well, but my mods all have it. I sent it out to the mods earlier today. KirkRNugent.live/gifted2paid/GTP. This is the course, the signature course that Justin just released this week, y'all. It's like today's Monday, so this week means it's literally new, brand new. So you want to make sure you check this out. And listen, if you're on the fence, don't worry about it. Don't click the link yet. Stay with us for the show. I'm pretty certain by the time you're finished, you're gonna be like, "Where's that link again? Can you put that link back in the chat?" So mods, get ready. They're gonna want that link. They're gonna want that link. Hey, and don't forget what I said earlier. You're gonna want to make sure you share. Now for some news. Y'all, Canva had their conference last week. They rolled out like removable backgrounds for video. Come on, man. You have no excuses not to utilize these platforms anymore. They've got another one that you can see on the screen right now, Design Visual Docs. There's like a whole beta list that you got to sign up for. If you haven't signed up for it, you want to make sure you sign up for that. Definitely continue to check on Canva. It's a gift that keeps on giving. Like I have the pro account, and I just keep on doing more with Canva. I'm like, oh, I could schedule my social media posts from Canva now? Wait a minute. Oh, I can design all my stuff, like this background, this whole scene that you're seeing in front of you, apart from the text and the ticker. All of this was designed in Canva. So definitely excited about Canva. Definitely want to make sure you guys get a chance to take advantage of it. YouTube said, listen, we're not going to be left out. We've got news too. Listen, you can now respond in the comments, right, Justin? You can respond in the comments with a short video, and that short video becomes a short. You can respond. So somebody comments on your video, hey, Kirk, I saw such and such. Thank you so much for that. But have you thought about this? I can create a short video, a shorts video as a response and respond to that person with the short video. And then that video begins to go through the cycle of shorts on my channel. YouTube, we love you. Thank you so much, YouTube, for thinking of the creator and continuing to push out updates like these that are absolutely ridiculous and phenomenal. We're gonna geek out on this next one. Some of you guys are like, what's a Raspberry Pi? Raspberry Pi is yo, I see you out there. Seesaw Studio says that is amazing. That is amazing. Yeah. Listen. Oh, yep. Somebody says, oh, they learned that from TikTok. Yes, they did. That was in the article as well. So some of you guys are ahead of me on the news. I love it. Raspberry Pi live streaming camera sports microphone with audio support. So this is a small little device that is made based on Raspberry Pi, and it has a camera and a microphone built into it, and it can literally plug into whatever streaming platform you have, as long as you have maybe a wireless or a long Ethernet or long SDI or long HDMI cable. But these are some of the things that are happening in the live streaming space. One of the things I always like to say to folks is live video is literally everywhere. Like Zoom is live video, y'all. Video conferencing is live video. As long as somebody is alive and the video is happening, this is live video. So this is some really cool stuff that's happening in the news this week. If you have not heard of, I believe it's Firework. Yeah, Firework. Firework is this new live shopping. It's not brand new, but it's a live shopping platform that you can literally engage, whether it's a product review, whether it's a shoppable video, or it's an actual live stream. You can have that. You can put it on your website. You do not have to go through Amazon Live. I'm just trying to help somebody out there to understand. You can do the live shopping right on your website. Right? A lot of cosmetics folks are into this. The health beauty folks are into this. Fitness, they're into this. There is a lot. I see Chris Stone says, yes, sir. Live video. Come on, Chris Stone. I love it. There's a lot of things you can do with this platform. Fireworks, I had the privilege of speaking on the same panel with one of their representatives a couple months back, and we booked a meeting afterwards, got a chance to talk with them on some things. They are looking for influencers to work with with companies on the platform. So companies are on the platform doing live selling, but they're looking for influencers. Oh, come on, somebody out there. They're looking for influencers. What's up, Nobu? I see Saba's out here as well. They're looking for influencers to work with their businesses on the platform. And they're also looking for producers. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, I'm going to just leave y'all alone. There's a couple of other live streaming apps out there as well. This one is called GoStream. These guys reached out to me. This is kind of a Restream competitor, I would say. Mostly they do a lot of their work in Asia, but they're trying to break into the American market. They reached out to me. I'm in the midst of some negotiations. I've got a coach for that. Yeah. We're gonna bring that back up. But I'm in the midst of negotiations with them. I've learned a thing or two about negotiating with brands. So GoStream is one that I want you guys to check out. What's going on, Kerwin Bornell? What's going on? Habla Conmigo says what's up as well. Nobu is in the comments saying what's up. Sawubona Baba. Thank you so much for coming through. This is the last one, okay? This is the last one. This is one that I literally just finished the video for this 2 days ago. Okay, InEvent is an industry recognized company or entity. They do live events, registrations, all the different things you want for a live, hybrid, or even completely virtual event. They do the whole thing. Until now, you had to use some other platform to stream into the platform, right? Some other streaming service to stream into your events. They have rolled out their own live studio in an event. They have rolled out their. I'm just listen. It's on the screen. It's right. Oh, I'm pointing the wrong way. It's right next to me right here. They have rolled out their own live video studio. So I'm excited about that. I got a chance to kick the tires, jump around. Yo, Andrew Gottlieb says, this is great info, Kirk. Thank you so much. Don't just stay for the news, though. Trust me, you don't want to just do that. But they have rolled out their own studio. I've got a video coming out on the channel in the next week or two. Agreements have been signed. I want y'all to understand. I'm not just a teacher and a coach. I'm a student as well. And my coach is coming up next. I'm excited to bring Justine Moore on the channel from Brand Deal Wizard. This guy, y'all, I'm telling you, man, if you want to stay gifted, you can leave now. But if you want to go from gifted to paid, you might want to buckle in. Go grab a piece of paper. Go get your notepad. Go get something so that you can make sure you get this information. Let's go.
How it all works. Let's welcome our guest.
What is all happening right now?
What is going on, man? Hold on a second. You thought you were the only one with sound effects, but I got some too.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Man. Thanks so much for having me. I'm stoked to be here.
Man, listen, you've made my day already, man. I want to say right at the outset, before we even dive into anything else, look, my wife is in the comments. She's saying, welcome. My wife is very happy with you because some of the techniques we have learned from the cohort 6 in the house. Shout out to cohort 6. But yeah, some of the things we've learned from the cohort has been absolutely amazing. I want to say this as well. I'm just going to say this to anybody else that's out there. I actually have been able to do 3 remote production projects with people from cohort 6. I'm
seriously.
I'm serious.
I did not know that. That's incredible, man. I love to hear that.
With Aquinia, I did one with her literally last Wednesday, and she had a Ellie Diop on, it's this major influencer in the finance space. So a lot of fun, man. And I'm saying that to say, guys, you've got to have something in your budget for personal development, for you to be able to spread your wings, for you to be able to sit under somebody else's tutelage and learn. So I'm excited to be able to bring Justine Moore. Before we dive into all the other things, I want to make sure How It All Works audience, come on, let's give a warm welcome to Justine Moore. We want him to come back. Y'all want him to come back. So make sure that the welcome is warm. I'm going to drop a bomb real quick. We're going to probably do the Nas hit. We're going to do all kinds of different sound effects to make sure this guy feels welcome in the chat. Thank you guys so much for we got listen, people are speaking in tongues in the chat as well. I love it. Listen, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to throw this first question up because we got a lot of ground to cover. I want my audience, I've spoken about you multiple times over, but I want my audience to know a little bit more about you. So I want you to say a little bit about yourself, your story, all right? Some of the stuff that you're passionate about. I like to ask, what does a typical week look like for you, right? That's a unique question, and it always gives us unique insight and perspective into our guest for the day. Take it away, Justine.
Love it. Well, let's see. Typical week. First of all, today was definitely not a typical day for me, though, because I filmed 4 YouTube videos today. Wow. I tend to batch film because I just find that I'm so much more productive when I'm able to batch and then just kind of drip out the content over month or two, basically, because I usually do a video every other week. I live stream every week, but it's like I've developed this cadence that kind of works for me. And so yeah, that's not today was not a typical day. I would say, honestly, it's funny because I think a lot of creators think that if you're able to do this full time, eventually it's very glamorous. It's like, oh, you set your schedule and you can go get a Starbucks and whatever in the middle of the day. I'm just going to do this. It's like, I'm telling you, man, I am just stuck to my email, basically the whole day. On calls, I'm on emails, I'm doing, I'm filming stuff for the course, or I'm engaging with the community or whatever. So it's a lot of work. It is a job. In fact, I probably work way more than I ever did in my 9 to 5, right? Yeah, so the quick backstory is that I'm an engineer by trade. I went to school for computer science, and so I very much thought, yeah, man. Are you computer science too, dude?
Computer engineering technology,
dude.
But, we're crossing.
Yeah, man. I love it. No wonder we're so in sync, man.
There it is.
I think that's what it is. But it's I really thought that I was going to be, doing that for my whole career. Right out of school, I went to work for a medical device company. And so I, then decided that I wanted to go back to school to get my master's in business, or entrepreneurship. Right. And around that time, a little bit before that, I met my girlfriend at the time, who now my wife, April. And so she actually was the one who started on YouTube back in 2009. So we met in 2007. She started in 2009. And this was very, very early days of YouTube. I mean, if you remember, like it was still the days where there was like a letterbox on the side of the video. It was like square, you know, it was like really low quality. There was you could not make money. No. When we started, there was no partner program. So it was like purely born from passion. It was like, you know, my wife, April, she just loved beauty and cosmetics. And in the early days, she just was looking for a community virtually that she could, you know, identify with, because no one in her real life, her friends, her family weren't really into that kind of thing. And so she basically discovered this whole community on the internet. And so, you know, we eventually, kind of the very quick story is that I started making cameos in the videos. We started several different channels, a vlog channel, a cooking channel. You know, I started an advice channel. So like crazy, not a lot of people know that. But it's like I had like did over like 500 videos, all life advice, you know, career advice, relationship advice, you name it. Actually, my Creator Wizard channel, my YouTube channel, that was the channel back in the day. So like I rebranded that when I started educating creators. That's a whole nother story. But so, you know, so we've been in the trenches as creators for over a decade now, full time, doing it for 8 years. And probably the most significant part of our income as creators has been working with brands. And so, you know, we have this tremendous body of experience working directly with brands and advertisers. But then I also, for many years, ran an influencer marketing agency where I helped other creators get deals. And so I had this very interesting set of experiences where we were doing it a lot ourselves and kind of had that direct experience. But then also I was exchanging, me and my team, I had, you know, several full-time employees at its height. And me and the team were exchanging thousands of emails with other creators and so we kind of saw that whole side of it, of like what it was actually like to shepherd a deal or a campaign to the finish line, working with like lots of different personalities and like you can imagine, right? And so it's like very, very, very complex. And so we were kind of the intermediary, the liaison, because there's lots and lots of brands who just don't have an interest in like the nitty gritty, the details. They want to just hire someone. Hey, you do it. Boom, you know, I don't want to handle the details. I'll pay you $100,000 or whatever. You do it, right? Get it done. Yeah. To just get it done. And so that was our role. And so that was the double life that I was living for many years, kind of doing both of these things. And then about 2 years ago, I decided I had this like kind of aha moment where I was like, man, there's something very interesting here that I feel like I want to like educate people around. It's like this idea of, it's like, you cannot be posting super crazy controversial things on social media if you want to get hired by brands, right? Like a lot of people, they're very fixated on like, oh, I just want to go viral. I want to go get views. I want to do this and this. And I'm just so sitting over here thinking, like in the background, like looking at this thing, I'm like, man, if a brand lands on that, they're literally going to pass you right by. They're not even going to reach out to you. They're going to see that and be like, oh, you know what? That person is not family friendly. That person's not in alignment with our you know, aesthetic, our values as a company. Pass, right? And so this is the kind of aha moment that I had. And so I started pumping out content all about this topic around how to, you know, negotiate and how to like, you know, be more knowledge, you know, the vocabulary that you need to use and you know, to, you know, talk professionally to brands and things like that. And so, yeah, fast forward to now, it's just the business is blowing up. I'm just having the time of my life, just being an advocate for creators, man.
I love that, man. And there's so much that you already shared right there in that, you know, just that lead up. You know, people are afraid to try and try and then try again. But if you listen to people's stories who are in places that you would want to be, regardless of what your niche is, your expertise, you're probably going to hear something similar to what Justin just shared. I tried that. I tried that. Well, actually, my degree's over here. Like I came out of the so I'm information technology professional by trade and training. I worked through the ranks, became CIO for not only a nonprofit and mission organization. I lived in South Africa for a number of years, but then got into higher ed and then left all of that and became a content creator, right? So, but one of the things that I always say to folks is, one of the things about people from the computer science, computer engineering background is that we believe in systems. we believe in systems. We believe in putting systems in place. And one of the things I love about what Justin does, he has taken the whole concept, the whole process of working with brands. He's even put it into a wheel. I don't want to get it too ahead of us, but he's put it into a system, something that is palatable, something that we can all work with. And I'm excited about that. Listen, we want to throw this other question on screen here. This is our second question. It's equally as an equal favorite to the first. My audience always says, make sure you get these in there. We want to know something about these folks. But how did you get started? I mean, you shared a little bit about how you got started in video and content creation. But who are you currently serving with the content that you currently create? That's probably where I would love for you to hang your hat right now. Go ahead.
All right, this is a really interesting time for me to answer this question, because my answer would have been different about a month ago. Oh, wow. Surprisingly, because for the last 2 years, basically, that I've been educating creators around sponsorships, I thought that like the audience that I was serving was creators who are on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube with between 10,000 and 150,000 followers. That was my ideal, follower persona, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah.
And I did that very intentionally because I wanted to ensure, I felt that my knowledge and expertise was like uniquely suited to folks on those, platforms. Yeah. But I also was very conscious that I didn't want to just speak to everyone and be like, I can help everyone. And like this kind of thing. Because when you do that, it waters down the impact of your content. Right. Often. And so I very much was very fixated on this. So on my courses and my content, it was like whenever I would film stuff, I would have that person in mind. Right. And this very interesting thing happened, which was that I started getting all of these other types of creators coming out of the woodwork and messaging me, emailing me, and saying, hey, I am a podcaster. I am a newsletter author. I am a course creator. I have a community, right? But like, I really think you can help me, but it doesn't seem like you're making content for me, right? Like it seems like you're kind of working with like influencers per se. Like I don't identify with being an influencer. I'm not dancing on TikTok. I'm not making YouTube videos. I'm not doing this stuff, right? Can you help me? Can I hire you for a one-on-one? Can I join your course? Like people were asking me this and I was sitting here, I kind of doing the stiff arm, Kirk. I was like, like football. Let me just keep running down the sideline here. And I'm just going to like stiff arm you. I've got this. Yeah, I've got the ball here. Right. But it was like, and it wasn't mean spirited, obviously. It was very much just like, I need to stay focused on who I'm serving, right? And so finally, this happened enough times that I was like, you know what? Let me just do some one-on-ones with these people. Like they're gonna compensate me. I'm like, let me see if I can help them. I think I can, right? And so I started doing these one-on-ones with podcasters, people who had communities who are monetizing through sponsorships. Surprise, right? They've got brands who are banging down their door to be like, hey, I want to access your student body in your course, or I want to access your community, your paid community that you have behind a paywall. I want to, sponsor your podcast, whatever. Right. And so I started doing it over and over. And I started realizing, man, my frameworks, the methodologies and the systems, as you mentioned, that I'm teaching in my courses and things like that, they are universal. And so I have decided to expand my business to now serve creators who have built their businesses on owned platforms. Ooh. Which is newsletters, which is podcasts, which is blogs, which is courses, communities, you name it, right? And so the way in which I'm looking at my business is like, I've got the own platform creators, I've got the social media platform creators, and what I'm so excited to do in this next cohort of the course is marry the two. So it's going to be the most inclusive cohort yet, because it's like, I am so excited about these different types of creators being able to learn from each other, because like, surprise, most people have a mix of everything. Right? Like a lot of people, podcasters have Instagrams, newsletter authors have TikToks, it's this kind of interesting thing. And so what I'm so excited about talking about is like how powerful that can be when you work with the brand to have this amazing, just like, you open your trench coat basically, and you're like, here is all the things that I can offer you, basically, right? Yeah. And so, yeah, man, it is a very new development for me, though, and so it's like it feels like very much uncertain territory. But anytime in the past when I have gone down this road and made a decision that has felt a little scary, but has felt like this I feel pulled towards this direction. It's always been for the positive. And so I think it's a good lesson as a creator is like, sometimes you're going to do things, you're going to kind of step into the unknown, blaze a trail that not a lot of people have done before. But, like you just kind of have to like give it a shot.
Listen, I love it. I love it. I mean, there is, but the thing is that it's a calculated step because you've worked with enough of those who are on owned real estate, right? Owned social real estate to know that, hey, this works for them too. So it's a calculated step. And I think there's something like, now I'll say this for my cohort, we learned a lot from one another. I immensely enjoyed the breakout sessions. In fact, I think I missed maybe a bit of one of the actual sessions, and I was just so upset because I was like, I missed the breakout. The breakouts is where we got a chance to really meet some of the other creators. I still follow them. The couple that does the RVing, I can't remember their names, but
Eat CRV, Liz and Dennis.
Eat CRV, they are phenomenal. They are phenomenal, and I just love the way that they're growing. So very intentional, but they're also just really cool people. You know what I mean? So I think that marriage is going to be really cool. God, listen, let me just grab a few things in the chat. I see my moderators are doing their good work. Kimberly Millionaire is here. She says, hello, gentlemen. I just wanted to shout her out real quick.
Hey, Kimberly, what's going on?
Excellent. And then G. Albert has given Justin a new title, the Reverend Dr. Justin. So I love this in the comments. This is great. This is great. And then, of course,
you know what? So this is not the same, but I did have a nickname in middle school. My nickname was Flava J. And you want to know why? You want to know why my nickname was Flava J? Is because I literally was in a breakdancing crew, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not joking, dude. My friends, like, and I had my dad take us to Home Depot, and we got these long, like, you know, those like giant like laminated pieces of wood, like they're like really thin, right, in the lumber department. And we got two of them, and we like duct taped the back of them, and we literally turned it into like a straight up like practice studio for our breakdancing moves. And we would like go and get this old school breakdancing video that would like break down how to do the moves. So I was the windmill and head spinning guy. Yeah, I was that guy, and the one who did the worm. I was the one who did the worm. And we like literally during our lunch breaks, we would go and like battle other crews. How did I get on this subject? But like,
no idea, this is phenomenal. I know. This is phenomenal. I absolutely love this. And again, this is what my audience is like. Yes, bring these folks, bring these people, but we want to know a little bit more about them. That one was phenomenal. Hey, Kim, Millionaire, we listen, we got to tuck that one away. Next time we're at an event together, we're going to be like, did you know that Flava J? No, I'm just kidding. This is priceless, man. Listen, the folks in the comments section. I want to throw this out to you guys. Listen, this is it. This is what we came here. You've heard the story, and that's relevant, right? I know that you came to really hear some, sponsorship strategy, negotiation, psychology of negotiation. I know that you came for those things, but those pieces that we just shared, I think, were also very insightful and relevant to what we're talking about tonight. But here's what I want to ask you guys in the comments. Let us know, do you love creating content? If you do, my question to you is, what if you could get your content sponsored? Would you be interested? Put a Y in the chat if that is you. If you would be interested, like, first, that Y is double meaning. The Y is, yes, I like creating content, and yes, I would really be interested in getting that content sponsored. Put a Y in the chat if that's you. There's 26 people watching right now. Put a Y in the chat if that's you. We want to see the Ys just flying up right now, all 26 of y'all. If you're here tonight, I would imagine that you're a little bit like me, and that you're not only love creating content, you enjoy creating content, right? It's something that I actually enjoy doing. But I wouldn't mind getting content sponsored. In fact, that's the reason why I enrolled in the course. I enrolled in cohort number 6, and I have benefited tremendously because of it. So Justin, take a look at the chat right now.
Oh, man,
it's clear we're in the right place.
All right, so here is our first learning opportunity, I think.
Come on.
Okay. which is that I love the enthusiasm. First of all, I mean, I feed off this energy, so keep it up. However, what I will say is that this is one of the first mistakes that creators often make when it comes to starting to work with brands and saying, I really want to get sponsored by brands. Is that they think, okay, I have this series on my platforms or on my channels, right? I do this one on Monday, like much like you do, right? You have like different formats and shows and things like you do on different days of the week and so on, right?
Yes.
And so oftentimes what creators do is they will think, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to find a sponsor for my show, for my series, right? And so they reach out to a brand and they say, oh, I've got this series. I love your brand. I've got this series. I think your brand would be a perfect fit, a perfect sponsor for my show. And what happens?
Break it down.
The brand says they read that email and they say, I have no idea who Kirk is. I have never watched his show. Delete. That is what they do. Okay, because they have no context. No offense, obviously, Kirk, your show is great, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Go ahead. Right, and so this is what happens. So for any of you hearing, like, man, I have reached out to brands in the past before, and they've either ghosted me or they've responded and said, not interested, right? And what happens? You either get mad or you think, oh, you know what, like pitching brands doesn't work, reaching out doesn't work, right? When in reality, you have to put yourself in the shoes of the brand. Okay. Yeah. Imagine that you are the marketing manager or the influencer coordinator or whatever at this particular brand. And they have their own business objectives, right? They have whatever widget, whatever product or service they're selling. Yep. They have their own marketing objectives. They think, okay, we're trying to reach this type of consumer. We're trying to, drive this particular promotion for the holiday season, whatever, right? They've got their own objectives, right? And so the way in which you need to reframe your mind and have this kind of shift around how to get sponsors with your show is you start with the reverse. Okay. Yeah, you think, here it is. Let me go and analyze what I believe this brand is trying to accomplish with their marketing objectives right now. Yep. So I'm going to look at their Instagram page. I'm going to see what they're posting. I'm going to look at their blog. I'm going to go see maybe what they were talking about last year during the holidays, right? What kind of promotions were they running during the holidays? And so I'm going to go look maybe at their open job postings on their job board. And I'm going to be like, wow, like what are they trying to like, do they need some help with social media management? Right. So there's all these breadcrumbs that brands are leaving on social media that you as a creator can analyze before you ever reach out to them, right? Yeah. And so then when you reach out, you finally do have this insight, right? You say, hey, I saw that it seems you're trying to do this, right? Because I did my research. Yeah. I can help you accomplish that by sponsoring my series, right? I say, hey, because my audience is exactly who you're trying to reach. I can do this, right? By the way, I've helped other brands achieve results, right? By doing this. I can send you some examples here. What do you think? Right? So that is the fundamental change that you need to have with your mindset around getting sponsored. It's not about, I'm going to go out and find a brand to like shove into this very small box that I have of how they can work with me. And I'm going to say, no, I'm going to start with them first. I'm going to say, what are they trying to accomplish and figure out how I can fit into that? Because by the way, surprise, surprise, brands don't have budgets, discretionary slush funds to just pay random creators. But what they do have is they have budgets to accomplish their marketing objectives. There it is. And so what your job is to figure out how you can get some of that money that's already allocated slid over to you.
There it is. Listen. I really hope you guys have your pen and paper out already. There it is. The class is in session. Here, listen, I didn't even get a chance to throw the question on the screen, but this is he's already answered it. Here is a strategy. Here is a sponsorship strategy that anyone can use. Have you identified where that cross point is between your audience, your content, your niche, your expertise, and the fact that you are, basically a production company in a box, which is what most creators are. That's what I said in my email that went out earlier today. Have you thought about the concept that you are a production company in a box? You listen, when the brand comes to you with the concept, here's the content. And they're like, oh, they filmed it, they edited it, man, it's done. You are a production company in a box. Now, how can you take that on the road and get paid? And listen, the way that he put that thing together, and some of you guys are like, wait, how can he give away these nuggets and then there's still a course? I'm telling you, there's more. There's far more. This is what I want to do real quick. Justin, in terms of the sponsorship strategy, is this, have you seen where, and we talked about this kind of sort of a little bit already, but have you seen where this does not work for certain people? Like, who's excluded from what you just shared? Like, who would this not work for?
Literally no one. Like, I honestly, like, the reason I say that so like easily is because when you come at it from a place of service, your definition of what a sponsorship is or what a brand deal is will vastly expand, right? Because a lot of creators think that like, oh, a brand deal, it's this very transactional thing. It's like, okay, brand reaches out to me, I talk about them on my platform, they pay me, end of story, right? That's what people think is like a brand deal for creators, right? Right. And in reality, there's so much more value that you can provide to a brand that has nothing to do with you posting on your platforms. For example, let's say you reach out. We were just doing that research, right, for that brand that you wanted to reach out, and you basically decided based on your research that, like, it seems like this brand is trying to market to Gen Z, right? Like that. Okay. Clearly, like that's kind of their niche. It seems like, right? But they're not on TikTok.
There it is.
That's a problem. That's a big problem, right? And so your pitch to them is, I will help you launch on TikTok. I will be the person to launch your account. I'll help you create, one post a day. I will do blah, 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 whatever. I'll help you think through the strategy. We'll analyze other brands in your particular industry, see best practices, see what they're doing. By the way, I have 5,000 followers on TikTok, so I know a thing or two about how it works. I've done live streaming on TikTok, right? So I kind of give you some insights there into how that kind of works. Yes, it's going to be $5,000 a month to do this for you, to stand up this initiative for you. That is a brand deal. That's a sponsorship, because you are helping the brand accomplish something in exchange for money. Okay, so and again, the reason I said this will work for anyone is because, surprise, surprise, it doesn't matter how many followers you have on any of these platforms to do something like that. Yeah. You are just leaning on your own expertise to help this brand win. And so it really, again, I hear this from a lot of times from creators like, oh, I'm gonna wait until like hit like 10,000 followers to reach out to a brand. It's like, no. Like, no, the time to reach out is now, because believe me, you think brands have it all figured out? They definitely don't. Okay. And if you can help them do that, they will pay you.
Listen, Silverhead Fitness literally just put in the chat what you just responded to. How about people with little subscribers / followers have no chance of getting sponsored? Won't happen for them. And you literally just responded to this in saying, if you understand the brand's pain point, if you are bringing a solution to the table for a problem the brand knows for sure they have, or you've helped them identify a problem that maybe they didn't know they had, and you've clearly articulated a solution, the count doesn't matter as much as it is that you can demonstrate you have the capacity to deliver on that actual service. So I don't want to take too much there, Justin. Go ahead, man.
No. I love it. I'm laughing at Kimberly in the chat saying, I'm laughing at Justin fussing at us. That is a brand deal. You know what's funny is, Kimberly, I was thinking about this recently, that I recently have kind of embraced the kind of like tough love mentor kind of status, because I never, I never really wanted to like feel like I was being too hard on people, but like, honestly, I don't know why. I feel like people have gravitated to me that kind of need it. They're like, man, there's all these people being like, it's okay. And I'm over here being like, what are you doing? Stop doing that. Like, come on. Like, this is so obvious. Like, stop it. And so it's just, what it comes from? It comes from that I see so much potential in people to like to get out of this mindset that brand deals are inconsistent, or they get there, because the vast majority of creators, like surprise, surprise, like sponsorships, brand deals, that is the primary way in which the vast majority of people on the internet who are doing this stuff make income, right? And so like the fact that that's not consistent or predictable gives people a lot of anxiety. And I get it. It's really stressful to not think like, how am I going to like pay my bills in 2 months? I've got these, checks coming in right now, and that's great. But like, what's going to happen in 2 months or 3 months or whatever? That's stressful.
Right,
and so
right.
I specifically, I want people to just lift this gigantic weight off their shoulders. And that's why I created the course, candidly, because it's like, it does not have to be that way. It does not have to be that way. And people think it does. And so it's like this kind of tough love idea comes from just like, I feel like I need to just like knock some sense into people to be like, look, like you need to take this stuff seriously and create systems. Because if you are not creating systems and processes to organize how all this stuff works and create a sales pipeline,
come on.
If that sounds scary to you, this idea, but like you are an entrepreneur. If you're trying to do this full time, you have to organize all of these conversations that you're having with different partners so that you're not dropping the ball, right?
Yeah. Listen, this is absolute gold here. I want to highlight one comment, and I want to ask you something. Nobu says, Justin, you have me inspired to actually pitch a brand with my under 2K channel. And let me say, that is what it's all about.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I wanted to make sure I had him come through, because I knew that somebody, if it was just for you, Nobu, this would have been worth it. And listen, we have one final question for him, and then we want to get to your questions as well. And this is simple, because we've kind of already touched on it already. But you talk about the psychology of negotiation, right? There is this give and take. There's this dance. A lot of people, just as you said earlier, they get that initial response. Let's say they tailored it. They framed it out just the way you said. They get that initial response of no. And they say, oh, well, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I'm no good. Maybe I don't have enough subscribers. They go into this mode. Talk to us a little bit about that dance that should take place when you're negotiating. Talk to us a little bit about that mindset that people should have, that psychology piece that we talked about. Go ahead.
You know what's so funny, man? When I started creating content like this, I remember I come, like we talked about, from a kind of a very pragmatic background, engineering, systems, processes, right? And so I came out the gates be like, the brand says this, say this, here's a framework, here's a template, here's a methodology, right? Because that's where my mind goes with this stuff. And that's how we've seen so much success over the years personally. But what was so surprising to me when I started coaching creators was that there is so much mindset work that has to be done first to be able to even press send on that email. Right. And so I have, it's been very humbling, because I've consciously taken a step back to talk a lot more about a lot of these issues, because I just kind of honestly took it for granted, because I'm kind of a gregarious person, I guess. Right. And so I'm just, like, brand tells me no, I'm just like, okay, like I'm going to email you again in like a week. Like, I don't care. Like, I am literally not going to be deterred. Like, if you tell me no, like, it's not no. It's just, to me, what I talk about is like, it's not no, it's just not yet. It may not be best time for you right now, and that's fine. Like, it has nothing to do with me. If you tell me no, it has literally nothing to do with me, right? And so I really wanted to take a step back and talk about a lot more of these topics. And in fact, by the way, Kirk, this whole shift that I'm making with the business and the course and everything, I'm going to be creating more dedicated sessions all around these mindset topics that D is going to be teaching. So, it is. I'm just so excited to delve more. I love D, by the way. This. Yeah, D is I'm a D fan. She is a superstar. I mean, for those of you guys who don't know, Dee was an alumni of my program, and I've since hired her. Basically, she's working as she's now the community and programs manager for Training Family. For Creator Wizard. Oh my God, Training Family was my agency. Creator Wizard, and yeah, so it's like I'm so excited to talk more about these mindset topics, because, like you said, it's like so much. What happens when a brand doesn't respond, or they say like really dumb things to you, like, oh, we only work with people who have 10,000 followers or something like that. It's like a lot of people they turn inward. They say, man, I suck. Like, that's so terrible. They get mad, this type of thing. Whereas, what I teach is like, no, you don't number one, you don't take it personally. Like that's their problem. That they're being dumb. And number two is that it is totally within your right to challenge them and to ask them, hey, you know what? Like, thank you so much for providing that information. It's super helpful. I'd love to understand in a little bit more detail why you have that requirement. Like, is there something about creators who have reached 10,000 followers that you see they perform from a conversion perspective, from a sales perspective, from an awareness perspective, a lot better than creators with 7,000? Like, so sometimes it's like this arbitrary threshold that brands implement. And then when you kind of call them out politely, they're just like, that's a good question. Let me like actually introspect a little bit and figure out why that is. Have that dialogue. Hey, let's hop on a call. Let's talk about this, right? And you kind of put your consultant hat on a little bit. This is something I talk about a lot. And you kind of start pulling this thread and saying, hey, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question, right? To the point where they all of a sudden think like, wow, like this creator actually seems like, you know, they know what they're talking about and maybe we should give them a shot, right? And so it's this kind of idea, and it's one of the things I talk about in a lot in my new course, Gifted to Paid, is this idea of like, you know, there's all these different, when a brand shuts you down or they say no, or they're only going to give you a free product or whatever, like a lot of creators hear, oh, they're just not going to pay me. And so I'm just going to be like, I'm only focusing on paid partnerships right now. It's like, that's the worst thing possible to say, because you just literally have slammed the door in their face, and you know, that's like a complete, you know, dead end now. And so there's all these different pivots that you can make to basically say, oh, that's so interesting. Let me ask you this question to pull that thread.
Yeah, listen, absolute solid goal. And I hope Talia Foster just put her post was simply around that same thing. You know, I get brands asking me how many followers I have on these other platforms, and you know, I'm under 2, but do really well on Facebook. They never ask me about that. But I think this answer kind of helps you to kind of tease that out a little bit. If this is a learning experience for both you and the brand, I think. And I think that's kind of what we're talking about. We're talking about putting on that consultant hat. Like, okay, help me understand that a little bit more. I'm looking to learn. So you've provided me some valuable information. Just want to help me understand a little bit more what's behind that information that you just shared. And a lot of times, just as Justin shared, there isn't a whole, maybe there isn't, maybe there is, and maybe you will learn something brand new there. But a lot of times you'll find that there's not a real big reason there. And especially if you have receipts. What I mean by that is, if you already have quantifiable results of how you've worked with other brands and have been able to move the needle, meet the goals for whatever campaign, we have to think of how we can solve a need in a way that's tangible. So I think there's so much there to be said, and so much there to be parsed through. I'm just excited about the whole conversation. I want to open up the door for real quick for some questions. I'm going to take this first one. I'm going to ask you guys to, you know, put your questions in the chat in the format that David Hunt has done it. He says, I'm coming in late. What would be the first thing that we need to do to get started with brands? And I think you kind of answered that very eloquently in the beginning, but I want you to kind of just, you know, give him a couple of steps there. What do you think, Justin?
Yeah. So great question, David. And I think so there's this moment that I think a lot of creators experience early on, where they start to develop a little bit of a following or an influence on the interwebs, right? And a brand will reach out oftentimes, and they're offering a free product, right? They're saying, hey, we'll give you this thing for free if you post about it, or we will give you free access to this software program or whatever for a year, and like you just have to do a review on it or something like this, right? And so this is like something that happens a lot early on, because you're not trying to work with brands. It's just like something lands in your inbox and you're like, oh, what is this? This is cool, right? Because you don't think like, oh, I'm kind of like, I don't know, like working with brands, I don't know if they want to work with me this, you know, at this point, right? And so what oftentimes happens is you start accepting free stuff, right? And it's like, it's cool. Like for us, even when back in the day, like we were stoked, like free, like my wife, free makeup, like makeup's expensive, like send it over, right? Right. Yeah. So that was, everyone kind of goes through this, right? And then you do that enough that you're like, you know what? I think I'm kind of ready to get paid, because I can't, like a free bag of beef jerky isn't going to pay my rent or my mortgage, right? So I need to like maybe start making some money off of this, right? And so that's when you start asking for money. And so you start getting frustrated when brands will be like, well, what changed? Like, you were cool accepting free products before. Like, what's the difference, right? And so one of the things, like the best way to get started to actually get compensated when it comes to working with brands is to realize that you are only X no's away from your first yes. Really, truly. Like there is a brand that exists out there in the universe
that is
that is going to pay you like 100%. And so if you instead start tallying the no's, and look at that as progress towards your ultimate goal, then it's going to be so much easier for you to not take it personally. Because again, we go back to this mindset stuff, and it's like, I get it. It's so difficult when you either don't hear back or you get rejected and this type of thing, right? And so, but if you flip that on its head and think, no, I just need to like go through the motions and go, obviously you need to like analyze and not just like bang your head against the wall and do the same thing over and over. Like if you do get a response, be like, oh, what was my subject line on that one? Or what did I say in the email like that they responded? Let me go analyze that a little bit and see, maybe I can start improving some of these pitches and proposals that I'm sending out, right? So that's one thing. But then the other thing is that
that's so good.
The reason that it's so powerful to just have this mindset is that the sooner that you can uncover the brands that are never, ever, ever going to pay you, the easier it's going to be for you to find the brands that will. Yeah. Right. And so a lot of creators could just get frustrated, or they get mad, and they're like, brands should know that they should like have to pay and all this stuff. It's like, no, like a lot of brands, they're doing their very first influencer campaign with you, right? Or they're still very green. And so if you can flip that and be like, you know what? I enjoy educating brands. That's a part of that's something that I do, and I'm cool with it. Yeah. Right? Like if you can have that mindset instead of just this annoyance, everything's going to change for you. This is just one of the mindset shifts that I talk about in my content and my courses and things like that. And it's so powerful.
Listen, I'm going to put this on the screen real quick because I do want people to see that the course is there. And my mods, if you guys can put it in the chat, kirkarnugent.live/GTP, kirkarnugent.live/GTP. It's actually scrolling on the screen right now in the ticker. I am a alumnus. Did I say that right?
An alumnus. That's exactly right. You're an alumnus
of this course. I want y'all to know that I'm not telling you something that I have not tasted of my own. Right? I mean, there are several brands that I've been able to land. The thing that I love about this course, and I'm just gonna really go ham here for just a second, is that it's not just the mindset shifts, fam. It is the tangible paper. Like they gave us scripts, they gave us email templates, they gave us templates for how to put together the numbers for after the campaign is done. They gave us the framework, the brand deal wheel. They gave us so much. I refer back, like on my other computer, I have like 10 tabs open with PDFs and all kinds of stuff where I'm like, okay, let me pull this. All right, this is what the brand is saying. Let me see how I can put this back into the format. I've got appointments on my calendar for this month, October, November, January, March, because I'm supposed to be following back up. I'm telling you guys, this thing has been a game changer for us. And it's something that I absolutely want to make sure you guys get a chance to see and take advantage of. Yes. And of course you see that link there. And I'm just going to say, of course, this is an affiliate link. So if you do go through that link, Justin and his team will give Kirk a little something, but that's not the point. Regardless of whether you do go through that link or not, I'm not concerned. You could go directly to his website, creatorwizard.com, and grab the course. I would not feel any way about that, but if you don't mind, hit the link. If you don't mind, hit the link. No, there's something to be said for if you're really ready. I had a good friend of mine say to me, "Do you think I'm ready for something like what Justin is teaching?" And I said, "Absolutely. You're at a place where you're already doing consultations. You have 4 a week and they're all booked. I think you're absolutely at a place, your audience, your community is growing, your course is sold out. You're absolutely at a place where this kind of framework would work perfectly for you because you've got all of the other pieces in place already. So I don't know who you are out there. I don't know who needs to hear this. Somebody who's been creating content for such a long time, and you're like, man, kind of at a place where I really want to focus my full attention and energy on this, but I don't see a way towards this being my full-time job. Trust me, look into something like Gifted to Paid. This is going to give you that framework. It was the missing piece for me. I did a video response for Justin and the team. I hope that it was helpful for you guys. And I know it was long because I just, I'm a talker. But it's really been a game changer for me in terms of understanding that cycle of working with brands. Look, these are human beings. They're people too. One marketing person might move from one company to the next company, and just based on how you interacted, they were never able to book your business at one, but then they're able to bring you in at a different one. You never can tell how these things will work out. They are people too, and that's just something that I took away from the course that I will never forget, and has absolutely helped me to flip my perspective on quote unquote getting brand deals. These are companies and businesses that you're going to be working with. Your name is going to be associated with. You want to be circumspect. You want to be prudent. You want to be, selective around who you want to have a brand deal with in the first place. All right, I'm going to pause and see. I see a lot of comments. So I'm going to see what else we got here. KMH Family says, yes, Justin at Creator Wizards is a beast. I took one of his courses and it has been amazing. Literally the best course I've ever taken. Kimberly Millionaire says, Justin's courses are amazing. G. Albert says, one thing that I've learned this year is you have to start to learn to step towards perfection. You also have to learn how to listen and read the room. I like those. I like those, G. Albert. KMH Family comes back, says, I honestly can say at any point in the journey you are in, Creator Wizard courses, you will learn so much and grow so much. You will definitely do those things, but I cannot speak enough about the resources. Like the Notion templates, guys, I don't even, it is amazing. The resources, the guesswork, the time, effort, and the hours you would have had to put in to get the resources that you're going to get out of this course. It would take you months, it maybe even years. So I'm done now. Justin, I want you to talk a little bit about, I know this course is your major thing, but I want you to talk a little bit about anything else that you got going on, things that other people can kind of get involved with. Plug and plug away. Go ahead.
So yeah, man, I really appreciate the kind words, like Kirk and Kimberly and KMH Family, everyone, honestly, everyone in the chat. They are not plants. I did not know they were going to be here. I swear. I knew you were going to be here, Kirk, but not. But that, of course. But I think the one message I really truly want to give is that I literally I have a newsletter, a free newsletter. Yes. Where I send you paid sponsorship opportunities every single week. Okay. And I do this because, again, it's coming from a place of service. I don't care if you ever pay me a dime, because that's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I truly want to see people win, because that is what, like, my wife April and I, we've been so blessed to experience so much success over our careers. And I truly feel like my next chapter in life is like helping kind of the next generation find their path. And so, like, if there's this one area that I can help people with, which is sponsorships, because I see so much deal flow every week through my agency, through us personally, and just like I've been so plugged into this industry for so long that it's just like I see so many deals that we cannot possibly do them all ourselves. No, and so that is literally why I started the newsletter, because I was like, I'm just going to put these links that there's all these brands who are like trying to find creators to like work with and pay. I'm going to put them in my newsletter for free. Okay. So if you want to be on that newsletter, literally, it's a free newsletter. I send it out twice a week. It's creatorwizard.com/join. And I have a mission to help creators big and small land 1 million sponsorships by 2032. So in 10 years. And so like I've created this huge goal for myself. And it's truly because I have this abundance mindset about this space that we are all in. Like, it is, when you see someone else getting a deal or getting a partnership, that is a good thing for you. That's not a bad thing. You don't need to be like, how dare that person? Like, they have never eaten at Chipotle. Like, I am the biggest Chipotle fan. How dare they get a brand deal, right? And so it's like, no, like, that means that Chipotle is sees the value in partnering with creators in your niche. So now that is your ticket to go around and pitch Chipotle and be like, hey, like I saw you just did this awesome partnership with creator XYZ. I can also help you amplify this campaign by doing XYZ, you know, ABC, right? And so it's like, there's all this, if you like this kind of stuff, and this is like massaging your brain, check out my YouTube channel, because I have so much free content all around these topics, like about, you know, how you just have to get rid of a lot of this kind of scarcity mindset when it comes to working with brands and, you know, cheering on your friends. Like we can all grow, like rising tides float all boats. And like, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love to see the chat go wild. I love to see people just kind of affirming and confirming in the chat some of the things that are out there. It is just a pleasure to see, and especially from people that I know, like and respect, like Kimberly Millionaire, David Hunt, several others that are in the chat that I'm just like, oh, this is awesome. This is absolutely awesome. Thank you guys so much. We are actually over our time. Can you believe that we are actually over our time? I want to make sure, but I pressed that button too quick. I want to make sure you guys get this. Listen, guys, creatorwizard.com/join. You want to go here. This is actually free. So you want to make sure you get signed up on this one. I go through, this is the one email, when that email comes in, I'm like, wait, let me parse through and see, is there anything here that I can apply for? I've taken this idea of, I'm just gonna email one brand a week. I just to see what's gonna happen. And you guys can follow along in that journey. Make sure you're subscribed. But man, listen, Justin, thank you so much for your time, your effort, energy. I know that, you know, we had to juggle some things to make this thing work out, but I'm excited that you're able to be here. We have to have you on the podcast. There's a lot more flexibility on that. We can record whenever you have time. Got to have you on the podcast just to be able to give them that double punch again and drive home some of the points that we talked about here again today. But man, truly appreciate you. They call me the Geek Speaker Preacher, and I'm trying my best not to preach because I believe wholeheartedly in what you're doing. And I believe it's a God-given calling that he's placed on your life. And I believe that you're going to reach those goals that you've set for yourself. In fact, I think you're going to bust them wide open. I really believe that. And I'm praying to that end for you, man. So thank you so much for coming out, man. Any last words that you want to say to the audience before we close this thing out today?
No, honestly, like I would say, like, I believe in you, each and every one of you. If you may have something holding you back, some sort of block or some sort of obstacle from, you know, I talk a lot about, you know, our relationship with money too. Like, you know, growing up, like, you know, whether it was taboo to talk about in your family or somehow money was evil, you know, and it was like a lot of these things that kind of hold us back from accomplishing, you know, whether it's, you know, like money can be a tool. It can help you create more art. It can help you be more creative. It can help you feed your family. It can help you be charitable and give back to causes that are important to you. And so it's like, I really, really implore you that, you know, you do have to do a lot of work on yourself too, before you can, kind of achieve some of the goals that you have in your life that are more financial in nature. And so I really do think that it's like a really, really important thing to realize that you do have to pause and introspect and look at your own, you know, yourself and your own psychological state and well-being before you might be able to accomplish some of these objectives. And so like, I'm just such a big fan of like doing the work on yourself before you can accomplish some of these goals that you have.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Doing the work, and my audience knows this. I'm so huge on doing the work. David Hunt asked in the question, "What was the link again?" I'm going to say it because you put Creator Widget. It's creatorwizard.com/join. Creatorwizard.com.
You see the wizard? See the wizard in the back there? That's the wizard right there.
creatorwizard.com/join. Thank you so much, mods, for your every time you guys come through. You're the greatest. Justin, don't leave. I'm going to close out the show, but I just want to chat with you for a second after we are done. But again, cannot thank you enough for coming through, hanging out with us today. It's been awesome.
Thanks for having me, man. It was a blast.
Guys, listen. Next week, as you already know, Kimberly Millionaire, I see your comment there. KMH family, thank you guys so much. Several of you guys are here hanging out with. Do not let this information stay right here. For my replay squad, put your comments underneath. I'm going to be checking the comments. Justin will be checking the comments. We want to hear from you guys. If you have questions, if something is holding you back from signing up for the course, we want to hear about that as well. We want to make sure that we are here as a resource for you. And for those, of course, you know, I'm in the live video space. If you're interested in that kind of thing, we want to make sure you subscribe. I want to make sure you understand it's not a blanket ask. Some of you are not in the live video space. And so my channel may not have anything to do with what you are trying to achieve. And so if that's the case, we have no problem with you coming through, hanging out with us, and then not subscribing. But if you are looking to use live video to create a steady stream of referral-based opportunities, to use live video to become a thought leader in your given space of expertise and your niche, to use live video, right? To pluck yourself out of obscurity. Because when your friends tell you that you are the best kept secret, that's not a compliment. They're saying that because they want you to keep your prices right where they are. If you want to use live video to be your digital storefront so that people can see and experience your superpower, your secret sauce live, then you definitely want to sign up with us here. Make sure you're a part of the How It All Works family. Thank you guys so much for your time, your attention. It is your top commodity, and you gave it to us for over an hour. I want to make sure you guys get a chance to tune back in next week. I'm going to have a solo session, just me alone. I'll be teaching on a particular topic, so look for the flyer coming up this week. So next Monday, it'll be a solo session. The following Monday, the first Monday in the next month, this is this is October coming up, we're going to have the marketing manager for StreamYard, Julie Riley. She's going to be our guest on the channel. We're going to be talking about behind the scenes of marketing for a live stream brand, right? This was not exactly what we normally do, but it's going to be a really cool and interesting conversation. I want to make sure you guys get a chance to come in and hang out with us. As always, we're hoping that somewhere in the show today, somewhere as Justin and I were chatting, you guys got a chance to peek behind the veil a little bit, have that light bulb aha moment, put some of the puzzle pieces together. Essentially what we're saying is we're hoping that you're able to figure out how it all works. And we'll see you, family, in the next video. Later.